Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be analyzing all the character artwork changes from Xenoblade Chronicles X and Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Overall, they've significantly improved the lighting, character contour, and details in the hair and eyes. All of the new images I will be using in this video are available on the official site, which I'll link in the description, along with some other great Xenoblade X resources. The site is in Japanese, so for those of you learning, it's a great chance to practice. I'll be making more Xenoblade X videos, so subscribe to stay tuned. Alright, let's get started. First, we're gonna take a look at Elma. So here's a new Elma, and she's absolutely beautiful as always. And here's the original one. And here's a side-by-side comparison. As you can see, they've changed her hair by adding bangs, and also made her eyes pop out more. Her hair has a lot more details. There's also a slight change to her nose, but that's likely since the art style has been changed. Some people might say her hair change looks familiar, like her hair in Xenoblade 2. Here's all three Elmas side by side. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite Elma. The new one's my personal favorite. I've also heard some people say this change reminds them of Elvis. Could this be the connection of Xenoblade X and 1 to 3? It's important to note that before Xenoblade 2 and 3 were released, X was a separate world from Xenoblade 1. It's possible they may connect the games, or add some more Easter eggs just like Lyn's Monado hair clip. What do you guys think? Was this meant to be like her Xenoblade 2 style, or could this suggest a connection of X and the main series? Let me know in the comments what you think. Overall, she's absolutely beautiful and I love this art style. Next up is Lyn. So here's the new Lyn, and here's the original Lyn. Here are them side by side. She looks absolutely amazing. Her bangs look slightly different. They were more blunt in the original and went straight across, and now they're more jagged and more shorter on one side. They also took out some of the shorter pieces on the other side. She also used to have two Monado hair clips, and now she just has one on one side. Her facial composition looks a lot better, and I think she looks more like her age now. I'm really excited to see what they do with the Lyn cooking Tatsu scene. I'm sure everyone's heard of it at this point, whether you've played the original or not. Next up is the one and only Tatsu. Here's the new Tatsu, and here's the original Tatsu. Here's them side by side. Overall, he looks the same. I don't see any changes other than the fact that he's HD now, and his colors look a lot more vivid. Same goofball, but in HD. Moving on, here's the lovely Irina. Here's the new Irina, and here's the original Irina. Here's them side by side. Irina looks about the same, except her eyes are now lighter and match her hair. The new art style and lighting really complement her facial features. She looks absolutely beautiful as always. She's a really underrated character, so go give her some love, guys. Next up is Gwyn. Here's the new Gwyn. Here's the original Gwyn. And here's them side by side. Overall, Gwyn looks a lot more mature. His facial features look a lot more defined, and he has a much better facial composition. His eyes also used to be a bit droopy and dark green, and now they're lifted and much lighter. They also added a lot of detail to his hair, and it looks a tad bit shorter. I mean, look at that glow up, it's absolutely beautiful. He's super wholesome and awesome. Let's give him some love too. Next up, we have Doug. Here's the new Doug, and here's the original Doug. Here's them side by side. There are absolutely no changes done to Doug other than making him HD. Next up, we have Hope. Here's the new Hope, and here's the original Hope. Here's them side by side. There are no major changes done to Hope, but they did make her hair more glossier. HB. Here's the new HB, and here's the original HB. Here's them side by side. Overall, there are no major changes done to HB. Next up, we have Yelf. Here's the new Yelf, and here's the original Yelf. Here's them side by side. There are absolutely no changes done to Yelf. Next up, we have Lao. Here's the new Lao, and here's the original Lao. Here's them side by side. Right off the bat, it doesn't look like there are any changes, but if you look very closely to his chin, his beard is slightly different. In the original, he had more stubble on the side, whereas in the new one, his face is a bit more cleaner. They also made his eyes lighter. Next up, we have L. Here's the new L, and here's the original L. Here's them side by side. There aren't that many changes done to L. L now has some slits in his eyebrows, and a lot more detailing on his forehead. Other than that, he looks about the same. Next up, we have Frye. Here's the new Frye, and here's the original one. Here's them side by side. They've slightly darkened his hair and made it a little bit shorter, and they made his eyes more greener. Most of the characters have had their eyes lightened, but so far it seems that Frye's the only one that has darker eyes now. I think it looks a lot better on him. Next up, we have Fog. Here's the new Fog, and here's the original Fog. Here's them side by side. There aren't any changes done to Fog. He always had very detailed hair. Next up, we have Alexa. Here's the new Alexa, and here's the original Alexa. Here's them side by side. There are no changes done to Alexa. Next up, we have Murderess. Here's the new Murderess, and here's the original one. Here's them side by side. Overall, she looks about the same. There's just a little bit more detail on her eyelashes and in her hair. Next up, we have Bose. Here's the new Bose, and here's the original Bose. Here's them side by side. There are no changes done to Bose either. Next up is the amazing Celica. Here's the new Celica, and here's the original one. Here's them side by side. The biggest change is that her ears are now a lot smaller. As you can see in the original, she had more markings and they were much more darker, whereas in the new one, her markings are a lot more faint and barely visible. They've also changed her eyelashes and her eyes. Her eyes are now bright blue. They really brightened up her eyes. I really love the new eye color. It also looks like her hair is a bit thinner at the bottom, but it could just be this picture. She looks so beautiful, and she's one of my favorite characters. Let me know in the comments which Celica you like the most. Next up, we have the legendary Mia. Here's the new Mia, and here's the original one. Here's them side by side. As you can see, there's no major changes done to Mia. They just brightened the lighting on her hair. Next up, we have Vanhem. And yes, there's a Vanhem in Xenoblade X as well. Here's the new Vanhem, and here's the original one. Here's them side by side. There are no changes done to Vanhem. Next up, we have Nagi. Here's the new Nagi, and here's the original one. Here's them side by side. There are no changes done to Nagi. Next up, we have Maurice the reporter. Here's the new Maurice, and here's the old one. Here's them side by side. There are no changes done to Maurice. Next up, we have the player's avatar, also known as Cross. As you can see, the cross used in the trailer no longer has the piece of hair sticking up. Now, I'm sure you can still add this piece of hair sticking up to your avatar if you choose to, but for this one, they chose not to. They've also reduced the hair at the bottom near the neck and reduced the hair from the face. There's a lot more hairstyles available for both male and female Cross. As you can see here, there's one that kind of looks like Mithra. I'm sure they're gonna add a lot more hairstyles that resemble other Xenoblade characters. I'm sure they're also gonna add more voice actor and voice actress options, just like in the original, where we were able to have our male avatar voiced by Shulk's voice actor, and our female avatar voiced by Fiora's actress. That's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments which character change, or which character is your absolute favorite. I'm really excited to see all the new things they're gonna add, along with bringing back some old things. I can't wait to play it. See you all on Mira! I also stream twice a week on Twitch, and come join Xeno Astroland.